Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bobs Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be exploring your month of June, as well as looking into your Gemini season. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful Kindred Spirits, and anyone new who is joining us here on the channel today. It's wonderful to have you guys here, and happy Pride Month as well to anyone within the community, or if you support the community. It's really wonderful to have you all here. We are going to be exploring your month of June, as well as Gemini season, so happy birthday if you are a Gemini out there, and even if you're not, this is still going to apply to you. We are going to be looking into each of the piles, and this was the specifics of each of the toppers here to help you pick out your pile here in a moment. But because it is Pride Month, I can't help but let you all know that I do hand crochet earrings as well, these rainbow earrings specific to your specific colors, your specific flag, or to the rainbow in general if you want to support someone in your life who is within the queer community, because I think this is a perfect time to be able to share our colors, to really rise up and to be able to proudly and honestly be our most authentic selves if you are in a situation in which that is accessible to you. But if you'd like to support someone in your life who is queer, or if you would like to get your own pair in your specific colors custom to you, then definitely feel free to check those out down below. I put so much love, care, time, and consideration into these projects, and to make sure that I really stitch so much love into each of these earrings. They are some of my favorite things to create, and I really would love to create more for you all this year. So feel free to check out all of the information down below on those if that's something that you're interested in, and there's helpful and honest reviews there as well. So of course we have 3 different piles here, and I wanted to do something that still had a rainbow theme to it, but less obvious. So each of these do have a rainbow element to them. So here for pile number 1, there is this piece of clear crystal quartz, but with the way that it sort of shines in the light, there's these little tiny rainbows in it. So if you're feeling called to the crystal clear quartz, then this is pile number 1. Here for pile number 2, if you're feeling called to this piece of ammonite, then this may be the pile for you with this swirly rainbow. So that is pile number 2. And last but not least here is pile number 3 with this piece of Labradorite. It's got this beautiful shine to it. So if you're feeling called to this flash of Labradorite for pile number 3, then that's pile number 3. So before you start heading off to the timestamps, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me in a moment, so you can really check in with each of the piles, check in with your own intuition, or to call in your own guides. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose these piles. You can choose all 3 of the piles. You can take bits and pieces from each of them. You can do as you'd like. There are no rules. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I said, if you're interested in supporting someone within the LGBTQIA+ community, or if you are in it yourself and you'd like to support a queer creator, then definitely feel free to check out the Rainbow Pride earrings that I hand crochet. So with that all said, let's go ahead and look at pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this piece of sort of a rainbow version of crystal clear quartz, then this is the pile for you. We are going to be looking into your month of June to see what's going on, the biggest energies, the biggest themes coming up for you. We're going to be doing that as well as looking into Gemini season and seeing what's going on there. So happy birthday to anyone who is Gemini out there. This is going to be useful to anyone, even if you're not a Gemini, but definitely wanted to say happy birthday to all. We are going to be using the charms here today, as well as several different oracle decks and tarot decks, which I tried to do a rainbow theme, of course, for Pride Month, but also we're using the queer tarot here today, as well as other queer created decks. So I'm really excited to support those. If you want to know what I'm using here today, as always, I'll have it listed down below in the description for you. But let's go ahead and just get right into it. We're going to be looking into your month of June here, group 1. And feel free to really connect with the deck, connect with the cards, bring your own energy into the reading as always, and to use your own intuition as we move through this. There might be things that I don't notice or threads that you will, so feel free to follow your own gut as we move through this. But let's start off with the biggest themes and energies coming forward for you for the month of June. So, group, there's one at the back here. 1 here, you have the 10 of Swords to start us off. Endings of some sort. Group 1 for the month of June. Group 1. Group 1 for the month of June. These back cards are coming forward. You also have the Queen of Swords. Really interesting. I talk about this all the time, but sometimes I do just throw out a few cards to see how they're working together, all of the different cards and decks before I start filming here for you all. And the Queen of Swords kept popping out, so I had a feeling it was gonna pop out for one of your guys' readings here today. But you also have the 8 of Cups. Wow, so you're kind of going on a journey this month. Could be a physical, actual journey. Like some of you could be hiking more, working on your fitness or things like that. But this usually talks more so of an emotional journey. And it feels like you are currently going through sort of an ending of sorts, mending after an ending. Because you have here at the heart of your entire reading, the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords doesn't talk about, as you can see, it doesn't really look that great, right? But the 10 of Swords usually speaks to something that has already ended, right? This isn't something that's in your future to end or something, or if it is, it's very close to ending. It's something you're probably already aware is on the horizon. You're already aware that this is happening. And maybe it's a bit bittersweet. Maybe there's a bit of healing and closure needed around this loss or around this ending, this bittersweetness that's going on here. But whatever it is already ended, and now you're picking up the pieces. Now you're feeling the relief also that comes with something ending sometimes. You can feel a little bit of that relief that, I almost kind of look at this as like acupuncture, right? Like you're taking each of these swords out slowly one at a time and healing and mending from them. So the ending has already happened or is already in process, but it's how you are moving through that ending, how you are emotionally moving through and moving beyond it. And the reason why I feel like it's bittersweet or an ending that maybe wasn't on the best terms is because it seems like it's something that you decided, something that you came to a decision about, because the Queen of Swords is very decisive. They speak with a lot of intellect. They really think through the problem. They're problem solvers. They really understand what, clear cut with things, right? They literally have this sword here to show the clear cut facts about something. So there's something that you did, like a pros and cons list. Should I end this? Should I finish this? Should I get there? There's this very intellectual side to how you've problem solved this ending, but also there's a lot of emotional mending needed on the other end, because you also have here the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups, like I said, there's this retreat. There's this needing to move away from a situation that is emotionally just not fulfilling for you, right? There's a start of a foundation, but it's gotten wobbly. It's not really working as well. You have to be one of those cups to walk away. You have to be the one to say goodbye or move beyond something. And it seems like it's not something that you, again, necessarily wanted to happen the way that it did, but it seems like you are making the decision to walk away or making the decision to have this be final. So there's definitely big endings, big completions, big finalizations about something happening over your month of June and how you wish to approach it and move forward beyond it. So let's go ahead and see what you also have coming in for your blessing card. So this can be from a spirit or a guide of yours, but you can also see this as just an energy most in your favor if you're not really into the blessings idea. So we're going to see what that is for you. What energy is most in your favor for the month of June. And you got the Train. Totally makes sense with everything you have happening here. It says transition, travel, liminal space, right? This is us traveling, us moving. And again, I even said that at the beginning, where there was that retreat, that hiking, that movement, that travel kind of feeling. And this can be a card, usually, like I said, it's about more of an emotional shift in some way, but it can literally mean like going on a trip, needing a retreat, taking some time off, going somewhere. And the Train does the same thing, right? But it also does showcase beyond travel the idea of transition and you being in transition. So it seems like, since this is the card to showcase a blessing or an energy most in your favor, it seems the fact that you're choosing to go down this path, choosing to walk away, it seems like that's going to be most in your favor, and it seems like it's something that's going to be a very positive change for you, and one that is a transition that you really should embrace, because it's taking you to a new chapter, to a new destination, to a new place that has more potential for you than where you started. So really love that that's coming forward for you. You're in that transitionary kind of awkward phase too that happens between, endings and beginnings, but a new beginning is now on your horizon. You're heading out of the ending. So let's shift gears here and look at relationships. So we're going to see what you have going on for relationships over the next the next 4 weeks rather, for your month of June. And this can be on any relationship. It does not have to be romantic. It can be a platonic relationship, familial, a relationship with a spirit, with yourself, however you wish. But we're going to see collectively what we get here as some information about how your relationships are manifesting for the month of June. Okay, so you have Heart Seas, and it is compassion. Tread a little bit more tenderly. Makes a lot of sense. Again, tread being another movement, another action. So if you are moving away or transitioning away from someone, maybe you're physically having to leave someone, or maybe you are in transition with how you approach someone. Maybe they were a coworker and they're moving to be a friend, right? That's still a type of ending. They weren't a coworker anymore, they're moving to be a friend. That could be a very positive thing. But it can also go other ways, especially with the cards that you have here, where maybe things didn't go the way that you wanted them to, and there's an ending to a relationship in some way, or a transition within that relationship. And it seems like you have to really tread a little more tenderly, be more emotionally cognizant of other people's perspectives, making sure not to talk over other people, listen to how they're feeling and respond with how you are, right? There's a lot of tender words that we can use, and a more tender touch. So that's coming forward for your relationships this month and how you might approach them. And for your final card, before we do the charms, we are going to pull a card for Gemini season. Seems I have something in my throat today, but we're going to pull a card for Gemini season. And what we're going to do for this one is, there's lots of ways that we can approach Gemini season, but I tend to find that Geminis are very intellectual. They're that air sign, and they also bring about a lot of sociability and a deeper understanding on how to connect with other people and bridge that gap between communities, between other people. They have that both sides of the coin, right? They can see lots of different perspectives and understand people on a much deeper level because of that. And so what I wanted to look into for Gemini season is to see where you might have a perspective shift, where you're going to see the other side of a coin, how you're going to kind of flip the script on something, and where that's going to be for you, because I tend to find a lot of aha moments happen in June. So let's see for Gemini season what your kind of aha mindset shift, perspective shift is. Okay, interesting. So you have grandmother horse here, which is just like a type of spirit, right? The horse spirit. And their keyword is volunteer, with the number 46 down here. And it says, honorable heart, your willingness to carry lightens the world's load. right? Horses are really good at carrying things, lugging things, moving things, and being of service. A lot of horses actually really enjoy it, and find joy in doing so. So there's this volunteer energy coming forward that you're going to be getting a new mindset shift within, seeing a different side of the coin. Maybe you're volunteering, or maybe someone else is volunteering for you, to help you in some way, or to aid you in some way. And maybe that is going to kind of shift your perspective, maybe on a person, maybe on a situation, revolving around volunteering, right? Volunteering in your community, volunteering and speaking up and advocating for others, being of service to others in your life, forward to help. And because you have so much happening here of you transitioning, you going through quite a big change, it really feels like, again, I feel like someone else you're going to be getting a perspective shift on. You're going to like see their true colors, so to speak. And I think that's where that perspective shift is. Maybe that's that true colors about this ending, and maybe a relationship that's ending, or one that's in transition because you're seeing a new side to someone. So that's kind of what you got going on with Grandmother Horse here. But to finish off, of course, we're going to pull some charms and see what they have to say. So feel free to have a little chat with them. I really want to redo this collection here soon, so maybe I'll do a video on it if that's something you are interested in. But let's go ahead and pull some charms for you all. Didn't really want to spread around today. Most of them fell right there on Grandmother Horse. So let's go ahead and look at the ones outside of that. We've got Mary showing up here, with this little like Christmas tree or a Yule tree. And when I look at this one, it just makes me think of like when the holiday season comes around and you are supposed to be merry. But because it came upside down here, it makes me think that like, yes, I maybe am giving like, because I just am that kind of person, I tend to have a positive spin on things, but maybe you just need to hear that like, yeah, the transition's gonna kind of suck a little bit sometimes, and it's not always going to be merry and pretty and beautiful. It's gonna be a little bit like, ugly crying moments, or feeling like an emotional roller coaster when it comes to this Eight of Cups, this transition, this moving away from something because you know something is better and it's not fulfilling you emotionally anymore, or a transition is needed. Over here on the train card with transition, travel, and liminal space, you have the spiral charm. So it could be that this is something you have been it's been on your mind. It has been swirling. But it also makes me think too that this is like you've been on this train for maybe a while and you're ready to get off, you're ready for this ending, you're ready to get to this new destination, you're ready to get to the end of the trail or the track. And it's really interesting because I kind of felt like you were this person over here, and then there's another person sort of reading, distracted, not really looking at you, that maybe you are looking at them, and it makes me think that you're possibly feeling again that feeling like it's not fulfilling you. Maybe a relationship just isn't fulfilling at that moment. So that's just like another like spiraling, continuing thread throughout this reading. Other things you have showing up here when it comes to volunteer, which is really interesting that you had so many show up here on this particular card for Gemini season. You have the broken piece of a puzzle piece. So whenever I see this one, it makes me think that there is literally a missing piece in some way. There's also the crown, which always makes me think of like loyalty and devotion, as well as leadership. And then you have the heart, you have the determination charm with the screw, and you have the lion, which tends to be, for me, I'm getting like confidence from it. So a lot of different things happening here on the volunteer card, and it feels like these are lots of little missing pieces to the mindset shift that you're going to have here, that perspective shift. So where you might be finding this perspective shift is maybe around a leader, someone you feel is very confident, someone you really love and trust, and who has a very determined spirit. They're going to be that missing piece. They're going to be that shift when it comes to how they may have those true colors come forward. So this might be giving you some indications on who this might be, or even an establishment, right? Some a boss or a store, shop, representatives, right? Like this could go deeper into like societal stuff that's going on as well, and how maybe new true colors are coming forward as well in response to volunteer, in response to being of service to a community. So that's also something coming forward as well. But overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I have for you here, group 1. I hope that this has been useful and helpful to you in navigating your month of June, navigating the season of Gemini. And if it has been, definitely feel free to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below what you saw. Always curious to hear your thoughts. And if you're interested in more pick a card readings like this one, and also other videos on art magic or on charm casting and creativity, then definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new readings every single Monday that I think you'd really enjoy. And if you are interested in supporting the LGBTQIA+ community, or supporting someone within that community, or you are possibly in the community yourself and you'd like to wear some colors with pride, then definitely feel free to check out the rainbow pride earrings that I've created and that I hand crochet for anyone in any colors that you'd like. So I can do many different kinds of flags, I can do different types of colors, I can do the full rainbow if that's something you'd like, and it's all hand done, hand created by a queer artist here as myself. So if that's something that you would like and you're interested in, definitely feel free to reach out here for Pride Month, as it's a great way to support the community as well as to support yourself or a loved one in the community. So feel free to check that all out if you'd like to, and all of the information will be down below. I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, if you've decided to choose this piece of Amniote with this rainbow on the shell, then this is the pile for you as we begin to explore your month of June and also Gemini season. So even if you're not a Gemini, this is still going to apply to you, but if you are a Gemini out there, happy birthday, and I hope you enjoy your season. We are going to be looking into all of this with the charms, with several different oracle and tarot decks here, with the queer tarot being the main player here, of course, for Pride Month, as well as using other decks that are made by queer creators or support the community in some way. So definitely feel free to see all of the different decks that I'm using down below if you're curious. But we're going to just get right into it. I'm feeling quite buzzy for your guys' pile for some reason, so I'm excited to see what you guys have cooking up here. We're going to start off first with what energies are most in abundance for you this month. What is coming forward most? What are the biggest themes that we are exploring? So feel free to really connect with the deck here, put your own energy into it, and feel free to put your own intuition and spin on this reading and see what you notice. I always like to co-create these readings with you. So let's get right into it. Group 2, what do you got going on for the month of June? What are the biggest and highest energies coming forward for the month of June for group 2? If I can get this card out, that is. Okay, so far we've got kind of some chill cards. It's really nice. We've got the 4 of Swords as well as the 2 of Wands. And let's go ahead and pull one more card for you for the month of June. And you also have the King of Swords. Lots of sword energy has been coming up quite heavily from this deck recently. So I am not surprised to see more swords. It seems like this month for you is, like I said, kind of chill. It's not super, it doesn't feel like a lot of crazy things are happening. It doesn't feel like a month that's going to flip the tables on you or throw you for a loop. So if you're hoping for a little bit of rest, even if it's busy, like you might still have a busy month, but there seems like there's going to be more time for rest, more time for calm, more time for planning, more time, more space. It just feels more spacious this month for some reason for you guys. There's this spacious feeling, like the spacious feeling in the cards here. It all feels like you just have more freedom, more space, more rest, more calm, more time to relax, which is really nice. Maybe it's because some of you guys are going on a trip. Maybe it's because some of you guys are making time for that, even within a busy schedule. But especially with the King of Swords showcasing that energy, almost like you're making the plans to relax, making the time versus hoping that you get the time. But yeah, the Four of Swords represents also beyond just rest and relaxation and rejuvenation. It also can represent needing to let certain ideas rest as well, right? So if you've been working on big hobbies, big projects, things you're feeling just like kind of stuck on, or nothing's moving, you're feeling just sort of like either overwhelmed, overworked, just whatever it might be on specific projects, ideas, plans, even that you've been working on with this planning card. It's showcasing to maybe let those rest. Like if you have the ability and you have the opportunity, give yourself some rest, some time off from that. It's going to really pay off. It's kind of like those situations where sometimes if you try to push, you're just going to be creating more resistance and more pressure on yourself for no reason. Where if you just like took a night's rest and came back to it in the morning, you'd feel so much more refreshed, and the problem would like fix itself. So that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting here, that maybe you are overworking a problem or overworking something you've been planning on, and that might be something to consider moving into your coming month, to make sure that you don't overwork yourself or overwork a problem that you're trying to solve, or plans that you're trying to work on too, because you do have the planning card of the Two of Wands, and the Ace of Wands, which it comes before this card, is all about a new exciting idea, a new exciting energy coming in that's just flowing through with creativity. And you're like, when you just like get that feeling like suddenly you need to make this project happen, or you want to go get this thing going, and it's just the spark of it, the spark of a new project, the spark of a new inspiration. But inspiration fizzles out, right? Like we can be really inspired, but unless we put the action and the work and plan to actually do it, it kind of just sits there. And so this card is all about starting to get the plans rolling, starting to get how you want to make that action, make that move, make that new idea happen. So like I said, there's something that you need to like let rest, but at the same time, you have something planning and cooking. So there is this balance here of like a push and pull within this, where you're like, yes, I'm so excited for this to happen, but you also need to rest and give your mind a bit of ease. So kind of towing that line over these next 2 weeks, or these next 4 weeks rather, for the month of June is going to be really important. So let's go ahead and see what you got going on for your next card, as this one is going to be about blessings coming in, whether that's from your spirit team, deities, or whatever, or if you just want to look at this as a card based around rather than blessings, based more around just an energy most in your favor this month. That's how we're going to really frame this, right? A positive thing, a positive force coming into your life for the month of June. So let's see what that is for you. Ooh, we've got the Healer. Such a beautiful card with the Healer here. Compassion, recovery, consent. This makes a lot of sense with everything else that you've had coming in here, right? Like there's this rejuvenation, this need for rest, this need for time to let yourself heal, let yourself like maybe even physically heal from something. But you have, the Healer, compassion, recovery, consent. I like that they're also got like this cane here too, which showcases to me like, it's an aid in our lives if we need that. So there's also this feeling of leaning on other people too a little bit more this month. Could be something that would be a blessing in your life. Letting other people help you heal, help you within a certain situation, whether that's physically, like if you're physically healing from something and needing a little bit of help, or if it's that problem solving and you needing to like rest on something, well, someone else can maybe help workshop that problem, so you don't have to have it in your mind and you can let it rest for a little while. Let someone else take the reins, or help guide you if you're feeling like you don't necessarily know where you're going. So there also is just like mending, healing, feeling like you're also maybe leaning on other people a little bit more this month to help you through. So that's really nice as a blessing coming in. let's go ahead and shift gears and look at a card for relationships, right? We've already been kind of talking about maybe someone coming forward and stepping up and helping in some way, or you asking for that help or that guidance. So let's see how that is coming up within your relationships this month. So group 2 for the month of June. What do you got coming forward? So you have insight, which makes sense with that King of Swords. The answers are there for those who look, and desire. Be certain of where you place your passions. Interesting. So there's like an insight about, okay, be certain of where you place your passions is really interesting, because I said that there's this new inspiration, this new passion coming in, but you're not necessarily, like, there's a problem to that. Like, you're not really sure how to get the ball rolling. So it felt like, again, someone's coming in to kind of help you within that. But it also says here, insight, those answer the, oh my gosh, words, the answers are there for those who look. So there is also a bit of a push and pull here again of like you having insight that's coming forward, and you're that's maybe the reason why you're having like a hard time where to go next, or how to solve this problem, almost like thought spirals happening here. But then you're still having the inspiration to start a project or to start something new or to move forward on something is still there, but it's just the logistics of how to make it happen. And so when I'm looking at this surrounding the idea of relationships, it really feels like a relationship is very tied to how you're going to solve this problem, or how you're going to get guidance to move through a problem that you're going to have show up surrounding something you're very inspired to start this month. You have a lot of desire for it, but again, this insight is going between each other. It just feels like there's this push and pull battle between how inspired you are and how realistic that inspiration is when placed into your life, and how you're kind of like meshing those together. I know it's kind of vague, it's just sort of coming off that way, but hopefully you know what this inspiration is, which will give you a little bit more context. But let's go ahead and pull your final card on Gemini season before we move to the charms. So Gemini season is a really great season for aha moments. That's what I tend to see it as, because it's the twins, right? It's about, Geminis have this energy of like seeing and the other side of a coin, right? They see the other side, a perspective shift that can happen around this season because of Geminis being very good at being able to see multiple points of view. And that helps them to socialize, to blend in, to understand a situation from multiple perspectives. And so I want to see for you guys, for Gemini season, where you might be finding a bit of a perspective shift, where you might be seeing the other side of a coin. So let's go ahead and see what that is for you. Group 2. Interesting. I hardly ever get this card, so I'm excited to look at it. You have Grandmother Orca here with power. Very powerful orcas are. Vast, cool reservoir. Access serene sovereignty beneath your surface, with the number 28 here. When I'm thinking of orcas, to me, they are very, very beautiful, but very, very powerful at the same time. They are a powerhouse, and they are definitely not something to be reckoned with, and rather something to be protected when it comes to this power. And so it's kind of telling me that over the next few weeks, as we complete and move through Gemini season, I think that you are going to be shifting your ideas around power. Maybe letting go of power a little bit is kind of what I'm seeing here. Being a little bit more gentle to yourself and letting other people take the reins. Like I said, that cane just felt very important to your entire reading here, especially because you also have like them holding onto the what is it called? The wand. And the wand is all about that inspiration, right? So you're holding on to this inspiration. You're not letting it go. But at the same time, it seems like it's something that maybe you're going to need some guidance on. You're going to need to let go of a little bit of power to make this happen, because you can't do it all by yourself. And so I feel like that is a real big key to how you're going to be moving through these next few weeks, because you're going to be needing to let go of a little bit of power, needing to trust another person with your inspiration, with your desires, with the ideas in which you want to bring to the table, and how you're going to work through the problem, because it seems like you can't really do it all on your own. But also how by letting go a little of that power, by letting go a little bit, you're also, it seems like you're letting go of yourself a little bit in some way, right? You're releasing a little bit of the power, and that can make you feel like weaker or less strong. But actually, by asking for help, asking for others, you make the whole stronger. And orcas don't work alone, right? They work in their own little pods. So it makes sense that the community is stronger together rather than just working with yourself. So those are the lessons that I'm really getting here from Orca for you guys with power. Let's go ahead and see your final messages from the charms to get those last little details. So feel free to have a little conversation with them, and we'll pull some charms for you. Group 2. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so what made me giggle is you got the paperclip, which can represent transitions. It can represent things that temporarily hold things together, but it also represents planning and organizing, right? And so since this fell here on the 4 of Swords, all about rest, rejuvenation, taking some time off, letting your ideas rest for a little bit, even giving that trust to other people to take over, tells me too that like maybe you're just a very organized person, you have a very specific way in which you want things done, and that's also a reason why it's hard to kind of let go a little bit. And that also makes sense too because you got the patterns charm here as well, which represents that this is a pattern for you, and that's why this perspective shift is going to be so significant and important for you. And again, it's because it's letting go of some power, literally letting go of some power, because you got the Queen of Wands, I tend to see it as, but also just in general, it represents a leader, someone coming in and stepping up to help. And keys represent opportunities. They represent unlocking doors. So it feels like, again, you're maybe thinking that you're letting go of power, but by opening this new opportunity to kind of bridge the gaps with other people to help you out, you're not letting go of power, you're actually making the whole stronger. And this definitely feels related again to some sort of passion project, because you do have the imagine, dream, believe charm coming forward here too, which represents something that is very close to your heart. And then you have another key here, so it really feels like these keys are linked to again show that the opportunities to help you, and this even fell over by the cane, someone to guide you, to help you, is definitely going to be a really big opportunity to help you towards those goals, because it's like linked. It's crazy how sometimes these charms come out. These two feel like the same charm here. They're giving like the same message, because here you have again the cane linking up, so guidance, help, being an opportunity towards the heart being again those passion projects, those ideas, those things that are very close to your heart. So those are all very much intrinsically linked and kind of just giving us the same message and flavor. So I won't dwell on this anymore or kind of just push it down at you again. But I would definitely, over the next month, really look out for someone who can be a bit of a healer, someone who can be a bit of a guidance, or a guide in your life, or someone whom which you can really put and entrust in something, so that you can really get these passion projects moving and rolling, or to just get the rest that you need as well. So overall, those are your charms and cards for the season of Gemini as well as June. If you did enjoy this reading, definitely be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how it connected with you. And if you're interested in these pick a card readings and more readings that I put out, then definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new readings every single Monday, as well as sprinkle in ones on art, magic, and charm casting. And to finish off, because it is a Pride Month, I can't help but talk about the crochet earrings that I create for you all that are handmade and are little rainbows on a specific set of colors that maybe relate to you when it comes to being within the LGBTQIA plus community, or if you want to get rainbow earrings for someone in your life who is in the queer community, or if you want to support, then definitely feel free to reach out, as I'd love to create those for you all. They're really fun to make, and they're a great way to show your colors with pride, as well as show your support for a loved one in your life. They're very close to my heart, these projects, so as a queer person, so I really do appreciate any support that comes my way, as well as to be able to support those in your life, as well as yourself. So feel free to check those all out down below for the information on those and helpful and honest reviews and all of that. But I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Thanks so much for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 3, if you've decided to choose this colorful piece of Labradorite, then this is the pile for you, as we are going to be exploring your month of June, as well as Gemini season. So happy birthday if you are a Gemini out there, and if you're not, this is still going to apply to you, as Gemini season is something that we all move through. As for all of the astrological seasons. So we're going to be looking into all of this with the charms, of course, as well as several different oracle decks, which I'll have as always listed down below in case you're curious. But of course, I'm going to be using several different rainbow decks for Pride Month, but also especially a couple of different decks that are actually created by queer creators out there, so that was really important to me. And this is the Queer Tarot, which of course is perfect for this, and is such a beautiful deck too. I love this deck. So we're gonna get right into it. Feel free to get yourself settled, cozy, comfy as always, and feel free to call in your guides if you'd like to. But we're gonna get started first by looking into what are the biggest and highest energies coming forward for you for the month of June, right? So these are the biggest themes, the biggest energies coming forward, the most important ones for us to explore. And feel free to use your own intuition as we move through this as well. But here we go. Group 3 for the month of June. First off, fast moving month. We've got the 8 of Wands as well as the Queen of Cups. Very fast moving month, I would say, for sure. And you also have the King of Wands. So we've got a Queen of Cups and a King of Wands surrounding the 8 of Wands. So this is a fast moving, quick moving, fast paced kind of month. We don't have a ton coming in here for information on exact things that are happening. It just seems like a very busy, fast moving month. Or if you have a lot of like exciting passion projects, things that are really just getting you really excited, new exciting prospects and ideas that you're trying to get off of your mind and into reality. This is a great month to be doing that, because the energy is very fast moving. Sure, it's very fast, but wands represent our inspirations. They represent what really fires us up and gets us excited about the world, and excited about life, and bring a lot of joy and excitement and amusement. And so if there's an abundance of them and they're all moving in the same direction, it tells me that there's a lot flowing when it comes to your inspirations this month too. That if you resist it, of course, if you go the opposite direction as all of these wands are moving, then it's going to be really difficult. But if you follow and trust your own intuition, or inspiration rather, if you really follow that passion, that ambition that you have, and really trust in it versus try to resist it or hold back from it, I think it's going to be quite rewarding this month. You're going to be really rewarded tenfold in doing so. Other things coming forward, you also have, like I said, 2 court cards. We got the King of Wands, we got the Queen of Cups. Very different energies coming forward. The Queen of Cups is very gentle, they're very nurturing, they are very emotionally intellectual, and very cognizant of how other people are feeling. There's a lot of empathy with this card, with this queen. And then the King of Wands, not that they don't have any empathy, but the King of Wands is much more related to that ambition, that direction, that leadership, energy that comes forward from the King of Wands, and a bit of playfulness too, especially with this king. He just feels very playful. And so when I'm looking at them here, like I said, there's not really a lot of context to how this is all working together. So we're really just picking up on vibes. And the biggest energies that are coming forward is that you have a lot of ambition. That ambition, if you follow it, you'll be rewarded for it. But with the Queen of Cups, it's showcasing too to be really empathetic of your situation too. So maybe you've gone through this before. Maybe you've gone down this road of ambition before and it hasn't always been rewarding, or you've had, you have to be a little bit more tender with yourself moving through this. And that's totally understandable, especially with like this rainbow weaving in and out of it, which can represent healing and understanding, especially like, a rainbow after a storm. So if you've gone down this road before, maybe this isn't the first time you followed this passion, followed this ambition, but this time you're like worried that it's going to take you the wrong way, you're definitely going to be rewarded for it. It really feels like this is the month to take that chance. This is the month to take the risk. This is the month to see what happens on the other side of the storm, and where the rainbow can grow. It also seems like the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups can be people in your life as well that are helping you on this journey, that are helping you with this ambition and like where to place it. Because yes, you have a lot of ambition all moving in the same direction, which showcases like, being rewarded for it. But it could be that you need a little bit of help to make this happen. So the Queen of Cups is going to bring in that emotional person in your life who is, very emotionally intellectual, very in tune with their emotions, very empathetic of your situation, sympathetic, that they are going to bring that element to help you. But the King of Wands is going to be really good at knowing you how to get to the next move, how to get to the next step, because I'm almost seeing like a chessboard here, and right, they're like 10 steps ahead of you. So they maybe have a lot of experience in whatever it is that you're trying to put this passion towards, this ambition towards. They maybe have a lot more leadership experience, understanding, to be able to see 10 steps further than you can, or to better understand your situation and how you can make that next step. So those are the cards that I have coming forward for you. Like I said, there isn't like a ton of context to actually what this ambition is. And maybe it's going to like hit you like a truck, where you just like really are just going to find out all at once. Or it maybe is something that you've already been feeling for a while and it's starting to really culminate in the month of June. But that's what we got going on. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to your blessing card. So this can be from spirits in your life that you work with, or you can see this instead of a blessing if that's not really your thing. You can see it as an energy just most in your favor, a positive force for you for the month of June. So what is a positive force or an energy most in their favor? I'm going to take this one as well because I felt like I needed to turn 2 cards. So you got 2 blessings coming forward. Very nice. Lots of this purple. I don't know why I'm feeling really drawn to the purple. Yeah, there's a lot of purple in this card, but I'm feeling really drawn to it in this one as well. Like there's this embrace feeling. So, okay, you've got the gardens with pause, safety, and secrets. And you got the 2 of paper page, which represents options, decisions, and dreams. So this makes a lot of sense, right? We've been talking about your dreams. We've been talking about that ambition, that passion, trying to figure out where you're going to go, checking out your options, and trying to be getting some help from other people who can really help you on this situation, on this journey. So it really feels like this gives us more of the context, but the idea that this is like, this purple is connecting, it makes me think that these people are definitely people in your life. It feels more like forces or people in your life, even spirits in your life that are helping you to guide, helping to guide your way when it comes to this, which is really interesting because pile 2 also had sort of a similar energy. So that must be just coming forward a lot for everyone in June. But the gardens showcases more of the context around how they're kind of guiding you, and the way that they're guiding you is through the idea of the gardens, which when I look at this, it makes me think of like, when people just need a little bit of a break, they go to the gardens to rest, to rejuvenate, to take some time to kind of understand their situation or to meditate on something, right? but you don't have to do it alone, right? In this case, there's someone else there with you, that you don't have to be by yourself in all of this, understanding where to go next. Because yes, you have all that passion, you have all the ambition, but sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. Sometimes we don't know where to go with all of it. Sometimes it can bubble up in us, but we have no idea where to place it. And it seems like you're really going to have the blessing of people really helping you to make those decisions, help you with those options, but also to give you the emotional support that you need too. So both sides of the coin coming forward here. Continuing forward, let's look more into relationships with a relationship card here. It definitely feels like people are involved in your month, so of course we're going to kind of pointedly look at that when it comes to these cards. But if you have a specific relationship in your life that you'd like to see where it's kind of going this month, we can look into that as well. So feel free to send your energy in for that. But let's see, group 3. You have power and devotion. Interesting. It says white carnation here, be true and pure in thought and deed. And then you have power with take hold of what you know is yours. So this feels like the passion. This feels like the ambition. And someone really helping you, feels connected even with the color here. And then the devotion, be true and pure in thought and deed, feels more so on that Queen of Cups. We keep having these parallels, right, of, trying to figure out the decisions, where to go. This is your person, this king. But if you're looking for the emotional support, you got that going on with the garden. Same with the devotion, same with the power here. So it seems like you really definitely are going to have people that are going to be really resourceful and helpful in you moving forward this month. And so this may be a more social month. It also seems like it's going to be a month where people are really devoted to helping you and hold a lot of power in which to help you and to aid you this month, and to take advantage of that, right? Not take advantage of them, but take advantage of the opportunity that they are volunteering to help you with their skills, their expertise, their emotional support. So let's finish off with one final card before we pull the charms to finish off your reading, where we are going to look into Gemini season, right? We haven't really looked into the specifics of Gemini season. And if you are a Gemini, you're probably aware of how intellectual you are, how smart you are when it comes to socializing, or at least on the surface, and that you're really good at building bridges for communities to come together, because you see lots of different perspectives. You have a really good eye with that. And so when we're looking at Gemini season as a whole, I feel like there's a lot of aha moments, a lot of big perspective shifts, a lot of moments of like seeing the other side of the coin, right? With that twin energy that Gemini brings. So I want to see where you are seeing the other side of a coin, where you are seeing and shifting your perspective a little bit on something coming forward for your month of June, as well as Gemini season. So let's see what that is for you. Group 3. Ooh, interesting. So you had a lot of parallels with color, and suddenly we're getting green. So it feels very maybe unrelated to this situation, and maybe it's something else that you're getting a perspective shift on. And what you have coming forward here is the number 32 with Grandmother Weeping Willow. Beautiful. Release. Bend, sway, swing, let loose. Anchored flexibility. Supports deliverance. Love that support comes forward here. So there can be a perspective shift on how you access support or you look for support. Weeping willows always have that, obviously the emotional support of the weeping, but also they're kind of like a safe place to land when you need to, because you can kind of hang out under their trees, under the canopy, and get a little bit of some time to yourself to rejuvenate, to better understand, kind of like the gardens, right, of to meditate and to kind of chill, a nice little oasis for yourself. So when I'm looking at this, how are you getting a perspective shift? It could be that the perspective shift is just needing to feel embraced, feeling safe in a space, feeling safe in being able to share, to release emotions, to share your desires and your passions, because those are, sometimes we talk about them all the time, like, oh, you're so passionate about this thing, or oh, you've got so much ambition towards this. But sometimes it's really scary to share our dreams and our desires and where we want to go, because if we mess up, if we do the wrong thing, if we take the wrong step, then sometimes we can feel that feeling of not being successful or being a failure or holding back in some way. And it seems like the Weeping Willow is wanting to show you a new perspective, that you can rely on other people. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to mess up. There's someone who is, or multiple people in your community who are a safe place for you to land, a canopy in which you to, crawl under when you need that support, and they're going to be there for you. Also, there is that feeling too of being able to release what's been on your chest as well, and that being like a strength for you, and maybe finding strength in that, versus feeling like it's something that makes you weaker. Especially since weeping willows are very bendy, swayy, they have that flexibility in them and in their actual literal branches, which means that you also are going to be finding that you are allowed to be flexible, that you are allowed to change your mind and shift things and find support, and that doesn't make you weaker. If anything, it makes you more resilient to change and to any setbacks that may come forward. So, really interesting card. I'm curious to see what you guys thought of this one, because it went many different ways, so I'd love to hear. But let's go ahead and pull some charms to finish off and see what you get. So feel free to have a little conversation with them, and I'll pull some for you. Okay, so very quick pulls today. Okay, I'm really liking what you got coming forward here. We've got the number 13, which 13 represents an ending, finishing, completion, because it's connected to the death card. But it's showing up here between the decision making and the feeling of like needing to have everything figured out, and that flexibility that we were talking about with the Weeping Willow. So there is some sort of transition between feeling like you have to have everything figured out and being able to be more flexible. That's coming forward. And it seems that if you try to make things so rigid on yourself, trying to make things like perfectly planned out, perfectly have all of this ready to go, that you have to have all of the answers, that's just going to hold you back and kind of be that resistance that I was talking about earlier at the beginning with these wands, where you're kind of resisting the changes that are needed to get these passions and ambitions rolling, because you do have the cage charm, where it's kind of holding you back or creating that resistance. Also over here in the gardens, where it felt like someone that you're going to be emotionally speaking to, you got the pop tab charm, or the bottle tab. And so when I look at this makes me think of like that release feeling that you get from opening like a carbonated drink. And so if I'm looking at this and it's about the gardens and secrets and needing to like release something, this is releasing emotion. So it really feels like this is the month too, if you feel like you've been really holding back from venting or sharing your feelings. Obviously ask first before you go for a big vent on someone, but if someone is there and they wish to emotionally support you, this is a great time and a great month to be able to do so. And then finally, you have on release, maybe more to do with the context of this card of where your mindset is shifting, is also the innocence charm, which makes, and you got the Fool as well. I was just about to say it made me think of the Fool. I kind of forgot that this was here. The Fool card, which represents innocence as well, and naivety, or naivete, if you want to say it all fancy. But it tells me that where you're shifting your ideas around release is again that flexibility, that it seems like being less knowledgeable, of course, yes, it does put you at a bit of a disadvantage because you don't have the experience. But if you release that, if you just let go and see what happens, and you have other people in your life to support you within that, people who already know the steps or have already been there before, then you are going to be able to be set up for a better outcome than if you just did it on your own. It also feels, again, to find that support is going to help you to be more flexible moving forward, and to help you also emotionally release, feelings around maybe you not feeling experienced enough or adequate enough for this ambition to sort of take hold. So overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I got for you. I don't feel like we had a deep amount of very specific context, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments, what you saw. And if you did enjoy this reading, definitely be sure to give this video a like. It really does help with the algorithm and everything, and I appreciate it as well to just know. Also, if you are interested in these pick a card readings, I put out more every single Monday that I think you'd really enjoy, so definitely feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I also sprinkle in ones on charm casting and educational videos on art magic every once in a while, so feel free to subscribe for that. And if you are within the queer or LGBTQIA+ community, or you know someone who is and you wish to support them, then definitely feel free to check out the Rainbow Pride earrings that I create. I hand crochet these with so much love and care for your specific colors, your specific way in which you want to show your pride, or to show your support for someone in your own life. These projects are just very dear to my heart as a queer person myself, and I wanted to be able to support my community in some way. So if you want to support someone in your life with these earrings, or to help them to be able to show their colors, or if you would like to show your colors more with pride this year and all year round, then feel free to check out all the information on how you can get your own pair down below, or to see the helpful and honest reviews there as well. But I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.